Welcome to the O'Malley podcast show. What we will talk about, no one will know. So sit down and relax and learn some awesome facts. It's the Talk to O'Malley podcast show. With me. Welcome to the Talk to O'Malley podcast. I'm staring into the right camera this time. But yeah, today I'm here with Luke Holloway and Stewart Tinlin. I had to come off sheet because I'm rubbish with names. I spoke to so many people today. But welcome. They're here from GrafterCard, which is a new venture, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're originally tree surgeons.
Correct.
You both look like bearded lumberjacks, which is amazing.
Yeah, trimmed down today.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Normally a proper
You knew you were coming on
forest gump
camera.
going on,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it. Yeah,
And so tell us why you're here and to, tell me a little bit about GrafterCard.
Yeah, do you want me to go?
yeah, go.
Okay, so with GrafterCard, we came up with it because we've been running a business for 12 years now in the ARB industry, working both domestic and commercial sectors. So we've got quite a bit of exposure to both sides of the coin there. And whilst we've been running a business for the last 12 years, it's been amazing. One of the best things we've ever done, but it's also one of the hardest things we've ever done as well. The two aspects of trying to mesh work life and home life is hard. We found it harder since our two little boys have been born.
Yeah, definitely.
That suddenly there's that work-life balance, and before we used to just get through. The harder we work, the more money we earn, but the less hours we have at home. And that was basically like, things need to change. We need to sort of move things around and also try and work the business a little bit sort of more sensibly, rather than just like push the hard work, rather than actually working smarter,
Work
not
smarter,
harder.
yeah.
That's probably the biggest sort of thing that pushed us and drove us to come up with GrafterCard. So yeah. Do you want to explain what GrafterCard is?
Yeah, so what we're doing at GrafterCard is basically we want to build. So I don't know if we can use this term, but like the blue light card. So we want to build a discount platform basically for the workforce of Britain. So all trades, logistics, sort of HGVs, and then also anyone that is sort of working in the offices that sort of supports those roles. So like we just want to be able to give something back to the workforce of Britain, basically.
Yeah, well, they do get forgotten about, right?
Absolutely.
So,
100%.
and you've noticed that, and you probably see, blue light discount on, restaurant or wherever else you are, and you're thinking, what do we get? We're actually working quite hard. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, they're in the public service industry and they are, literally struggling, and they work, my partner works for NHS, and I think she appreciates her blue light discount.
Yeah, absolutely. My partner's in the NHS as well. She gets
and you're not
blue
gonna
light card. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're not going to begrudge it. But
No, they
by the same
deserve
token,
it.
there's people working just as hard,
Definitely.
labouring,
Exactly.
Yeah,
doing what they're doing, and on similar wages, if not less,
Yeah.
for sure.
in a lot of the situations.
Yeah, and a lot of the time with the commercial sector, you're obviously working away from your home base all of the time. So unless you've got the ability to have a little porter cabin on a building site where you've got your microwave and your kettle, whether it works is a different question. But for us, a lot of the time, we work a long way from any sort of real facilities. So we could be travelling an hour, 2 hours to a site. You get there, there's not toilet facilities, there's not somewhere to make a coffee, there's not somewhere to warm your lunch up if you bought something like that. So sometimes you want to be able to find something that's cost effective, because you are out and about all the time. You're always filling up with fuel, driving around the country, and we're always paying top money for that. And it always comes out of our pocket. Like, that's the ultimate thing. There's never the option to have any form of reward scheme that actually is targeted towards the tradesperson.
Well, out of your pocket and then onto everyone else's pocket.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
Because that cost has got to be passed on to a certain extent.
For sure.
Otherwise, you're not going to be able to run the business in an effective way,
Yeah.
which then makes it really hard. So when you were, just to hit on a point, and I don't want to embarrass you, but
Go on.
when you got no toilet facilities, if you're working in the forest, this is not just bears that shit in the woods, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You've got to make sure you've got the toilet paper in the glove box.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I can imagine. So obviously your background is
Trees.
Yeah.
Trees, yeah.
Arboriculture, yeah.
Yeah, been doing it for a long time, different companies, and then we set up together about 12 years ago now. So we've been running as a two-man band initially, contracting to different companies, in the sort of local Northamptonshire area, and then we work for a bigger contracting company now. Shout out to VMS.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we work with them all over the place, going and doing pretty cool tree work, and also doing the domestic side as well. So we do our own thing, other like half the week, and then we do the other half the week working for them. So yeah.
Did you always want to do trees?
It's in the blood.
Yeah.
I think once you start doing trees and you're out in nature and that it is infectious.
Yeah, personally, I fell into it. Like, it was my sister's boyfriend. She had a business, or he had a business, and then I went and worked for him. And then once you're in it, you just, you really do love it. It's good fun.
So how old were you when you got into?
I would have been 15 when I started doing it.
Really?
Yeah, I was still in school, so I did it on weekends.
And you're not even that old. So
No.
the health and safety around 15-year-olds working in trees.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing now. It's like when we one of our guys here with us is Sam. He started before he was 18 and talking to insurance companies, trying to get insurance companies to cover pre-18-year-olds to do the industry because it is so dangerous. There is an element of, there is a barrier bringing in apprentices. They're all doing college courses and they're trying to get involved, but ultimately sometimes it's the insurance that stops them getting into the different fields and the different trades. And that's certainly a barrier we've seen sort of coming through and being in the industry. There seems to be a lag between younger people getting into the industry, and then it sort of jumps to guys who are in like the 22, 23 age bracket, and then they're getting into the industry. But we're missing that really early section of people coming in
and by that point,
taking it on.
They need the money, right? Because you know they're either
massively
got a lifestyle or
Big
accidentally
time.
got a kid or
you
know
for sure.
whatever situation it is, they got them there.
Yeah, trying to get like vehicle insurance and stuff like that is astronomical.
No.
And like you know yourself, like the renting and stuff like that, it's just so expensive. There's just no benefit to do it. It's hard.
I know.
It's really tough.
So what did you want to be when you were like?
Honestly, I had no idea. I think that's why I did tree work. There was a pathway there, and that's what I stuck with. So
I wanted to be a chef.
did you?
Oh, nice.
I fell into this. I didn't want to do
yeah.
financial services. Then someone said to me, "Tom, you'd be good at this."
Yeah.
And I went, "Okay," and then went and did it, and then
Right.
10 years. I'm still. Do you think that's what I want to do forever? Financial services? Don't think so.
We'll
But
have to get back into the chef.
I don't want to be a chef nowadays. I talk to so many chefs and I listen and I'm like, I'm not working 60, 70 hours a week in a kitchen.
100%. Yeah.
It's
definitely.
killer. And I
Yeah.
guess they're the sorts of people that are going to be benefit. Is that going to be trade?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's quite a difficult sort of spectrum to try and, I suppose, like bracket, because there are so many trade specific skills and it's people who work with their hands. So it is a massive sector. Hot kitchen compared to being outside on a hot day, I suppose it's pretty similar really. If not, they probably have it a little bit worse sometimes.
Yeah, I've worked in kitchens. It's horrible. And you go home smelling like onions and it's, it's those other things for literally minimum wage. I mean, there is
definitely.
And there is no benefit and it's seen as non-skilled, but really...
No, it's
absolutely,
definitely.
Yeah, 100% it's skilled.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you kind of answered the question, like, what is a grafter? I mean, it's kind of anyone in that sort of trade
Definitely.
environment. So, obviously, you touched on where the idea came from, but what sort of really suddenly sparked it, and how long ago did that come up and you went...
Like, we were talking about this, and I think since we both had younger children, so in the last 3 years, we noticed more so how difficult it was, like how many hours we were putting in, like early starts, late finishes. It wasn't such a problem before we had children, and then we realised, wow, we are working so much, and we need to be home more to be able to actually, give back to our family or be with our family. So it wasn't until that point that we really realised and sort of like, actually we're working way harder than we're actually sort of being paid for almost, and that's where we realized actually we need to be able to sort of give back, or like be not just us personally, but the trades need something to be able to
have some benefits for doing that work,
Yeah.
because some people don't have the choice with those early starts to late finishes. Certainly the sector we work in and construction as well, you've got to be on site for a certain time in the morning, so sometimes you are getting up at 5 a.m, you're driving an hour, 2 hours to site. You're then sat on site all day doing the work that you're there for. Then you've got that 2-hour drive back home, and then you're not getting home until 6 in the evening. If you've got a partner, she's trying to do dinner or she's working herself. and you're then trying to put the kid to bed. Like but it's really, really tough. And there is an element of when it comes to sort of wanting to go on holiday or wanting to take your family for like a family experience or something like that, you want to know that you've got something that you might get a bit of a discount or a bit of recognition for the fact that you are going through that graft to have a bit of a kickback. So
it's free to users.
Yeah.
So like people like, if I was in the trade, how does it actually work as a business? How are you going to get?
So initially, to get onto the platform, you obviously have to verify yourself. So you're proving the fact that you are a grafter or you're a support person to a grafter. So someone who works in offices, obviously with the different companies we work for, what's the right word? Contract to. There's so many people behind the scenes that make those jobs also run smoothly. So, and they understand the sacrifice that a lot of the trade guys and girls sort of go through to deliver that work. So sort of lost my train of thought then.
No. You crack on.
So I've completely lost my train of thought.
You were saying that it's the people behind the scenes who are pushing people along.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you were talking about the verification process.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
So with that, with the verification process, everybody now with health and safety, the tickets that you get to prove your competency for different jobs and things like that within the different trades that you work in, that's going to be the verification thing. So on the app, it'll be a photo of your trade card, or if you're a support staff and you don't have an ID per se, you'll have a linked email address or something like that. So very similar to how the blue light operates in its verification process. We want to protect the grafters being on the platform, so we want to make sure that the people who are there are the ones that deserve to be there.
So you're approaching the businesses are then verifying they've got those people there.
Yeah, and then the companies that come in will be hopefully providing the trade specific discounts to our community that we're going to be growing.
Exclusive deals, hopefully, that's the plan. But look, the question was about the business, wasn't it? And look, so the idea is that we will get paid through affiliate links, and because we're getting money that way, that keeps the platform completely free for everyone all the time. So do you see,
massively. So it's people are going to essentially pay to be
they'll
users.
save all the way through, and it's going to be completely free for them. So that is really important that it stays free.
So for someone like me who's in protection, obviously specifically business protection, where it's a useful product for a lot of smaller businesses, and you don't get looked after generally with things like sick pay. Would it cost me to be on the site to offer my services at a discount?
So the way it would come, so people would come to you. So you would say, because of the discount, you would say because they have a GrafterCard, they get the discount. Then no, it would be completely free for you to sort of push your business on there, and so small businesses will be able to push their business on there. So when we're looking at cafes, small cafes, like restaurants, for people like us, we work a few hours away in areas we're not familiar with. So we'll be able to go on the GrafterCard app, location, we can see there's a cafe in that area, and then we can go and get a discount from that place. And now we've got, we're bringing extra trade into those small businesses that they didn't used to get.
So it's supporting the people that are supporting the trade instead
100%.
of going somewhere like Costa or going somewhere like
100%.
So we'd love for that to be an option as well, but we also want to help support small, we want to help the community.
Well, I think it's important because they probably would go there anyway.
100%.
Like you probably know from being on the road, you're probably going to go in a smaller one rather than a Wetherspoons or
definitely. And you want good coffee, so you want to
exactly.
So the artisanal place, don't you?
It sounds like you've got a real job on your hands to try and
bring it all together.
But
absolutely.
Yeah. But definitely. How are you? Obviously, I know you're quite hot on Instagram and Facebook. It's only been how long have it's launched? It's not been launched.
So the platform's not live yet. We're still building the platform up. But it's been running on Instagram
since
a couple
February,
of months now.
Yeah,
so we're about 2 months in, and obviously with a lot of our connections and stuff like that, speaking to a lot of different people, we're getting really, really good feedback from so many people regarding obviously the concept and everything like that. And once we've explained what it is, it's sort of like everyone's like, it's a no-brainer. Like, we don't get any recognition, and we want to support the local communities and stuff like that. So it's sort of a win-win situation, really.
I mean, it's not a suggestion. You probably might have thought of it already. But, you know, like you're talking about holidays.
Yeah.
So it's having that, like I talk to a lot of my sort of connections locally are local travel agents, independent travel agents.
Yeah.
I guess it's a good point for them.
Yeah.
Where they actually get that tailored advice, which costs nothing. I mean, they get, you know, like us, we get paid on commission. You know, they're getting that tailored advice. I guess that's quite a good option for them.
Definitely,
to build that, because a lot of people don't know it exists. And to be honest with you, Don, 2 years ago, I didn't even know you could have a personalised travel agent. And I would have thought it would have cost me the earth to have it personalised.
Of course, yeah.
But in reality,
No,
it doesn't, because they're searching like us,
and they have the knowledge of the areas. That's what they do for a job. So yeah,
100%. Yeah, they're not booking through thing. They're getting, like you said, an affiliate link through there, and it's that. I guess that's just an example of where
cascade through. Yeah, so we are talking to a couple of like independent holiday travel agents, and they're super keen to be involved and be part of it. And
I mean, when you first started speaking to me, I was like,
makes sense for them.
No
absolutely, 100%. So
you know, I'm tiny. I'm one person. Who actually, you know, I met you via a cold call, didn't I?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know what you thought when I phoned you, but I'm direct and to the point, and then I stayed in contact, and I am genuinely interested in, hence why you're here.
Well, to be fair, when that cold call came through, we were pruning apple trees, and you had your pods in, and like I could obviously hear one side of the conversation, and you were talking away, and I was like listening to my podcast and stuff in my ears as well, and we were just like snipping away, and I was like, wow, he's been on the phone a while. But it just keeps going.
It's just a lovely flowing conversation.
I know.
One of the reasons we're here now.
I know, and to be fair, I would imagine it's the same sort of conversation you've been having with businesses about what it is. If it's interesting and it's useful, that's the way it is forward.
100%.
So in terms of sort of collaboration, I'm guessing that's, you know, what was the real inspiration? Was it to give back to the community? And
originally it was getting discounts or some sort of recognition for, you know, the workforce basically, and then later, actually quite soon after, because we've been brainstorming ideas for ages, the community came on quite quickly, and we wanted to help the community. You know, I live in Rugby, and the town has just died over the years, and I don't know if that's the same.
I've been at Rugby before.
Yeah. But you know, that community feel that is in the town just isn't there anymore. But if we can help, you know, drive new business to these small businesses, we'd love to help, you know, bring it back almost, if we can, in some way. So that is obviously, the community is a big part of what we're trying to do here.
Doesn't Rugby have one of the oldest pubs in Britain?
It has,
Probably,
it used to have the most pubs in sort of like a small, you know, radius almost. So was the best for doing pub crawls.
I'm sure I stayed in the Holiday Inn or something. Is there a Holiday Inn?
There's a couple, to be fair, isn't there, around?
Yeah, I stayed in there, and we all went out because we were out of course.
Right, okay,
That was cool. I enjoyed that. So yeah, I mean, obviously, like for that, where you're at with the community, so it's all community focused, and you want it to be.
A big element is community, but also a big element is the recognition for the work that the guys and the girls do on the ground. Like that is a massive part of it. Waking up early, night shifts. The weather in the UK is a huge part of it. So when we come to the end of October, we look at each other and think, oh man, here we go again. We're going back into another winter. And again, this winter has felt like the longest winter ever.
The wettest winter.
And it's just been brutal. Like we're still having to go climb trees, like do all of that stuff that we do in the summer at the same time. And you come home, you're soaking wet. Like you're trying to get your stuff dry for the next day, and that's the reality of it. And that's day in, day out. And then if you're working weekends or working on any of the infrastructure projects, like you just got to keep going because the jobs need to be done. And there's not really any excuses.
To give you a first world problem, I had golf cancelled like 3 times.
I can
but it's frustrating, and just all because of the weather. It's so unpredictable.
Yeah, but for us, the weather aspect is. When the weather's bad, we're the ones that have to go out and do clear the roads, and
it's when you make the most money, right?
No,
it's an awful problem
No.
because we're so busy anyway. And then the calls come in, you're like, oh, how am I going to do? And that rolls into the time that we were like, man, we're working so hard already, and now we've got to find even more time to fit all of these other jobs in. It becomes such a problem, and ultimately has a negative effect on your home life because you want to be at home, like you want to earn enough money
Both
to
your
have
partners happy.
Yeah, yeah. We'll table that one.
Ladies, you heard it here first. So what's your long-term vision? Obviously, I know you're not going to go into this naively, but how do you see GrafterCard in 5 years' time?
5 years' time, we'd like to think that it is a go-to platform for tradespeople across the UK, and it's being actively utilised and is giving back to the people we've been discussing and talking about. To be part, like Uni Days is for students, and like the Blue Light Card is for the healthcare workers and the police and fire. There is a massive need for it because of the cost of living crises that we're going through at the moment. We need to find a way of giving back to trades because people are leaving trades to go and do other work, and we feel like we have to do something about that to try and give something back. And just trying to protect the hard-working people.
Is it going to be digital, or are you going to try and give it as a physical plastic?
It's going to be.
It is going to be digital. Yeah. I think it's hard enough at the moment. Like, we have so many cards for all of our competencies and stuff like that, and our wallets are like this thick. And when we turn up to a new site, and as much as there's all the digital sort of scanning and stuff like that, they still want to see the physical card. So with that, we don't want to add another card to someone's wallet, like that we've got enough to carry around with us at the moment. And what guys and girls are like you put it in one pocket, you change to another. It's in there, it's logged.
Exactly.
And you do have a lot of apps, and most people
100%.
I mean, I'm unorganised at all. I think I've got my credit cards it's in one little thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, I know what page it's in.
Absolutely. Find it. Definitely.
That I'm on page 4 or 5 but I look at some people's and it's so well organised. I think.
Yeah, my partner. Yeah, she's on it.
So anal, innit? If I was to look at my phone now, I know that there's like a ukulele tuner on one page, and there's the tabs on another. I know I've got Candy Crush there.
Yeah.
I know if I need to go to my banking, it's in certain points.
Yeah.
With so many apps, and I mean, there's not like loads of discount platforms, but is there a danger that it can get lost, or are you hoping that it's going to be driving home the message? What's the biggest challenge you've got?
If people are going to save on it, it's going to be one of those things. It's a go-to. They're going to know exactly where it is. You're going to know exactly where it is in your phone. That's the plan. So that's not something we'd be worried about. If it's working and it's saving people money, that isn't an issue.
If it brings value, that's the main thing, definitely.
What's your biggest challenge, do you reckon, going forward? Because how long have you been? Obviously been launched a few months, but obviously been doing the research for a little while. What's the biggest challenge you're coming up against at the moment that we can help with? Because ultimately, this is to reach out.
It's just getting the outreach, really, getting people to know about it, want to join onto it, and trust it. So, and until we're actually there saving people money, people might not trust it, but we're doing so much work behind the scenes
to create it.
It's a waiting list at the moment, isn't it?
Exactly.
I signed up the other day.
I mean, we're looking to launch in the next 2 months, with some sort of like minimum viable product, and we're excited about it, and we want other people to be excited.
We've got companies lined up wanting to be on the platform, so that's all basically ready to go now. So we are just getting excited about the actual launch time and stuff like that.
Are there any partners out there that you want to partner with that you think you can tag them in? So if you were to put yourself towards that camera and go, we want to work with you, and then you can put an Instagram post and tag them on it, who would it be? You must have people in your target mind.
Well, I mean, like Greg's would be amazing, wouldn't it? Like, how many
tradies
use Greg's?
The amount of tradies that we see when we're going and filling up fuel and stuff like that, like the queue is out the door, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And as much as it's an absolute staple for trades and stuff like that, and they're doing a great job, and it would be it'd be great to have that collaboration with those guys for sure. I think just.
I personally, I'd be more happy when, I'd love to work with Greg's and all the big brands, but just having the small community,
small to medium sized businesses
actually thriving from it, and the whole community thriving from it.
I think
would
it's
love
key.
that.
And there's a lot of small,
you
know,
know,
where
they're providing
just
amazing services, and they do get swamped by the bigger advertising budgets and stuff like that for sure.
And Greg's is convenient.
Yeah, it
I mean,
is,
it's
absolutely.
awful, and that's what you're battling against.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I get that's what they're battling against. But then if they've got a platform to promote themselves through there and go, we're here doing this, we're here doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, paying. I mean, I think a Greg's sausage roll is actually quite expensive.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
even when you buy 4 and you get a third one for free and you get a fourth one free, it's still quite expensive. You're paying like £4 or £5 for
certainly when you have to ask over the counter if it's just come out the oven or has it been sat behind the glass for like 20 minutes.
I don't even bother asking anymore. The reason I don't bother asking anymore is because I always feel like if I'm going to ask for it, they're going to go, not one of those, really. You want one out, you want one hot out of the thing, but then I just don't bother asking anymore. But then I go for a cappuccino and like a meal deal drink. But it's given those options, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I suppose that's the message, isn't it? Don't go to Greg's. Go to Auntie Jones.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, definitely.
So yeah, if you're a small business and you want to get on, visit GrafterCard on your Instagram and your website. Sign up for the thing, and they can contact you directly on LinkedIn.
In the next week or so, they will actually be able to go onto the website and completely upload themselves all on their own. They don't even need to go through us. So they'll be able to go on the website, make their own account, give their offer, and they'll be able to amend that all the time.
So I can.
So as soon as it goes live in the next week, they'll have complete control over that. It will just be every time they make an amendment, there'll be a 24-hour period before the amendment gets updated.
How easy is it? Have you spoke to a lot of us, especially ones around here, we're all a bit tech scared.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Oh, it's super easy. Yeah. It's literally one button, fields are there, fill it out, another button, done. Like it's pretty straightforward, and we have been working really hard to make sure that it is as easy as possible for those things to happen. The same with the process for verifying the trades. The concept was we wanted to make it easy enough that someone, if they were on site and they went to the loo, they could sign up whilst they're sat on the loo and just ping a picture of their trade card. And then that's it, done.
All I've got a picture of in my head now is someone sat there on the loo.
But that was the idea in our head. It was like it needed to be that streamlined and easy. There didn't need to be barriers to stop people from doing it. And then straight away they would be getting the value from it, seeing what we're.
Actually, our next guest, just to give you a little heads up on some bits that are there, because I love collaboration and I love a bit of community. So have you tried the local chambers of commerce? I think you've been in contact with chambers of commerce and local groups. Okay. Might be worth having a chat. Yeah. So, you know, push this out behind the camera, you know, like local chambers of commerce. Jack, who is coming on next. So he's from Hampshire Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, okay.
Again, they work for businesses. It's a good little partnership for you.
Okay, nice.
It might just be worth having a.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know, James, have you ever spoken to Chamber of Commerce?
I have indeed, yeah.
Exactly, and they put on loads of events.
Right. Okay.
So it's a point that you're just going to get yourself out and about.
Yeah.
And make them really work.
Yeah, we are definitely in the networking phase now. Of like, we've come up with the idea. We've put it all together, and then like this is the time that we're getting excited about the whole product. Is we're wanting to go out, we want to talk to people, we want to explain what it is, and then that conversion to it then working, and then us seeing that people are saving, they are getting the deals that we believe we should be getting. So we are super excited about doing all the talking and the moving and the schmoozing.
What do you feel like is going to be your top performing product on your
big ticket stuff will probably be holidays, I'd have thought. Yeah. Like tradies love going on holiday.
Like family days or probably like the cafe shops, really. Yeah. You know.
For most regularly used out, I mean, we like our coffee and we like getting a breakfast, don't we?
Yeah.
And we go to a lot of places, and it would be great if there was that sort of like connection between the two. And not just saying that because we want discount on every place we go into, but
no, but I think it's but I think more often than not they'd be happy to.
For sure. Well, we'd like to think so, definitely. Yeah.
Because it's more a case that, you know, or it's like a free coffee with like your breakfast.
Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a percentage off. It can be whatever
they decide.
Suits them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've been on sites before where we've gone and actively found a local coffee shop, and we go in, and the person behind the counter is like, "Oh, are you guys here for today, or are you here for a week or whatever?" And we tell them, "Oh, we could be here for the next month," and they'll be like, "Tell all the guys who are working on your site," so they know that there is the trade there and they want it. So we're just trying to direct that trade to them in an easier way.
It sounds like you've got a mammoth task on your hands.
Yeah, it's a big undertaking, but I think at the same time the value that
You seem like
provide.
such driven.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
exciting. It really is.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
Yeah,
I like it.
absolutely.
It's good.
It's awesome. Blowing
Is
our own
there...
trumpet.
Oh, I don't know. So, is this your? Are you planning on taking away, stopping doing the trees eventually?
I think we're going to have to really to make it, the value that we want it to be for everyone. I think we will have to take, step back from the trees at some point. But we'll just play that by ear for now.
So your tattoo trees.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I did wonder, and I just made the link now as you were saying.
Yeah.
So, do you see yourself going back to trees, or what would you? Yeah, do you see yourself going back to trees or different?
I think trees are in the blood, aren't they?
Yeah.
If you do trees, you always want to be out in nature doing that stuff, and there is an adrenaline rush when you're at the top of a big tree and you're working on it, and a lot of the time you're in a space that no one else has been in, because the tree could be there for 150, 200 years, and there might have been a handful of people that have ever climbed that tree, and that's a pretty cool thing, overlooking some pretty awesome landscapes and stuff like that. So there is always that draw to go back into it, but the body's getting pretty tired now, so
Yeah, I bet.
there
Yeah,
is an element that
So you were talking about the gap in trade, like from people coming up earlier on. So my son, who's 15, I think I told you when I was on the phone
Yeah,
to you,
you did, yeah.
15, looking at plastering or
Yeah.
looking at a trade. Obviously, you both got into it when you were 15. Do you think you'd advise that for anyone going forward?
Yeah, I think so. I think if the pathway was easier,
Yeah.
in the sense of what you're going into, I think it's because none of it's talked about at school. There's a lot of pressure from schools to go to college, to go to university. There's certainly the element of like trade college, definitely, to go and learn the basics and the understanding of the different industries that you'll be going into. But at the same time, there's also a massive push for people to go to university. And we see guys who are coming from the end of their journey of university, they're looking for jobs, and then they're like, oh crap, like this isn't really suiting what I want to do, being sat in an office all the time. So they come back to working outdoors. So they've spent all of that money at university when they could have had a better career path.
40, 50, 60 grand a day.
Yeah, going through that way. But there doesn't seem to be the right channels for people to really understand the direction to get into it.
I kind of wish I'd looked at trade. I mean, I did toy with the idea, but I think, I don't know, like I would consider myself quite smart. Probably, I'm not adverse to I just get caught in the middle. You know, you've seen the in-betweeners. I feel like I'm in that in-betweeners area where you're sort of, not highly intellectual, where you're going to be on like university challenge or whatever, but you're sort of, I don't know how many people get caught in there, whether you were both in that sort of situation where quite smart at school, doing all right. Yeah. But then like I said, I wanted to be a chef, right? So and my mum went, "You're too smart, you got going to A levels." Yeah. But like I was thinking to myself, what am I going to do with A levels? There's no need, no real want to do it. Yeah, and I think that's the gap. It's the gap, isn't it, where people fall through? And we've had people on before from like that deal with apprenticeships and work locally within that. And you're thinking, to me, it seems like a no-brainer to go into a trade, but what would put people off doing a trade long term, do you reckon?
The weather.
Yeah, the weather initially, definitely, when you've come from school and you're going back out into the elements, because it is hard. I suppose the financial side of it is pretty tough for apprentices coming through. They're either getting paid from the company they're working for, or they're getting a grant to be there. And then another element of the GrafterCard is the fact that there is that financial incentive in the sense of the savings that they get once they've got, whether they're enrolled in college in a particular trade sector or whatever it is, to have a little bit of a, say, pay rise in that regard. Rather than a physical pay rise, they're able to get trade specific discounts and things on certain tools or trade wear or bits and pieces like that. So they do feel like they're getting value and being recognised going into the industries.
Intrigued by what you're saying. So, and I was just thinking this myself, like, if you, like when you're doing your research, are people, obviously your partners, NHS, right?
Yeah.
So is it one of the big reasons why they stick around, having a blue light card and stuff like that?
I think it certainly helps.
And the benefits.
Yeah, I think it certainly helps, definitely, when they get discounts on everything. And there is, even today, we were sat in the restaurant around the corner having a little bit of lunch, and we overheard a lady in the table next to us say, "Oh, do you take blue light here?" And they said yes. And that's probably one of the reasons why they came in to get their lunch there.
Yeah,
so
100%.
It drives the trade both ways. So you want to go in there.
You can definitely see the potential going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you take GrafterCard?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're going out with your family of an evening and you want to treat everybody to obviously a meal out, like, things are getting more expensive. So we want to be able to fill that gap, really.
And it's in that little niche part, isn't it, where you actually really want to make it work.
Yeah, definitely. It's the same, like, one of the other things as well, I suppose. So many trades work away from home, and I don't think many people really appreciate how many people work away from home, from the long distance lorry drivers, all of the utility guys when there's storms and stuff, the like construction guys who are working on projects all over the country. They can be living out of hotels for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they're always paying those top prices when they're there. So if there was a way of their money going a bit further, that's, I think, then that the recognition of them being away from their home all the time, their family all the time. So
and it's all through one app rather than through
absolutely, definitely. So they can just
rather than
jump
having
on
to go
there,
to
show
Expedia,
exactly,
and then going through to, or I've got this, or I've got, like through insurance, you can have Vitality, or there's always third-party apps where
absolutely,
people offer discounts. But to me, I go, you ever going to use it? No one wants to be tied to a thing, but actually it's tied to them, and they sort of feel a bit like
it's part of it.
And it is that 100%. Camaraderie, isn't it?
Absolutely.
We want to have a lot of information based stuff on there for, like, people that are wanting to go and set up, like, businesses, to try and get them in the mindset of what they're actually going to be expected to, the costs of running a business, and before they just jump into it, and then they're like, oh, I've got all these taxes to pay I had no idea about. Actually try and help people learn a bit, before they.
And I guess as it's evolving, you're going to put those guides together, and it'll be
absolutely.
It is from my side of things, it's easy from the outside looking in, and I work in a financial background, but we go, yes, you need to have enough money to pay for all the bits that you actually need to do. Like, if you work for the NHS, they're gifted with things like sick pay, and gifted with
absolutely,
a death in service benefit, etc. Not to link it back to where I'm going, but it's just as an example. Like, actually, if you've got guides on there that are saying, yes, you need this type of insurance for your liability, and you need this sort of insurance for this, and then they can, for a small business like me, having our systems on there and saying, this is a guide to sick pay, 100%. Guide to those bits from there.
Absolutely.
And then it's, again, people put in, I guess you can have articles written and...
Yeah, absolutely. So we're working on our blog and everything like that. So that's all being produced, put out with information. The biggest thing, I think, more than anything is, like Luke was saying, the building up the understanding of what's entailed in starting a business. Because most of the time, like us, when we first started a business, we were just good at cutting trees, climbing trees. We weren't business people by any stretch of the imagination. We've never done a business class ever. No. And then suddenly we're like, okay, now we're buying insurance, we're buying vehicles, we're quoting jobs, we're doing all of this stuff that we're so alien to. And our thing was, how do we make sure we cover the bills? Oh, we just work harder. That was always the answer, work harder, rather than actually having somewhere to go to get the information to truly understand how to run it all. So there is an element of that educational sideline to it as well.
We had an accountant on this morning who was talking about business growth as well as managing the finances. So it's finance first. So you're basically, it's starting with the end in mind, right? If you're looking at it. So you've done it this time, but probably when you started with the trees, which is a job I can do this self-employed to work better.
Absolutely, and
definitely. Now you've got an end in mind with this rather than guiding it through there. But people, I think, struggle with the finances in the head, and it becomes the biggest struggle is not seeing an end before you start. And the reason why you're doing it for financial security, for a better life at the end of it. It might be that you just want a holiday.
Absolutely.
You want nice holidays, but it's having those bits out. And accountants, they're a good bet for you as well, I think, because they're the people
100%.
that are going to be pushing out, did you know about this? Did you know about that? And it's getting that message out to accountants.
Yeah, for sure.
So any accountants watching, then it's tagging those people in.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, definitely.
Part of what we do here is to have a nice conversation so people can do that. Also, so you've got the clips that you can actually go and use it, and I'm quite upfront about it. I don't care. It's giving you a platform for you to go out and make sure that people understand what you do, because I think it is totally important. It's when you told me about it, I was like, oh, really? But you must have looked at the downsides. I looked at it. It's not me picking holes in it.
Absolutely.
But I look at it and go, are people going to engage?
Yeah,
because that is the biggest problem. It's the engagement.
Course. Yeah, definitely.
How are you going to plan to keep people engaged long term?
Well, this is the answer goes back to, if it's saving people money, they're going to stay engaged. So that is literally it. If it works, they're going to stay engaged.
Are you going to have a jingle like trustatrader.com?
Probably, yeah.
Can I write it?
Luke's going to sing it.
Yes, you can write it with the.
I can write the. I can't. All I've got stuck in my head now is. But that's the hook, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to see you on ITV2.
If you can write a jingle,
sponsoring.
we'll use it.
I can write a jingle.
Well, we'll sort it then.
Yeah, I've done my own jingle.
So that's how we'll keep people engaged.
Yeah, you've heard my jingle, right? Welcome to the Malley podcast songs. No one needs to hear that. And I promise it won't have any swear words.
No, that's
because
fair,
obviously the side part of what I do is comedy occasionally. But yeah, you never experienced any of the disgusting songs that I've written. I take it.
No,
thank God. That'd be incredibly embarrassing. Is there anything you want to add or you want to talk about that we haven't covered?
With the engagement stuff we were saying a second ago, we definitely like the idea of having, we've already started like giveaways and stuff. So if you're in the mail list, you automatically go into giveaways. So whenever we've got collaborations with companies, or we're providing the giveaways ourselves because we want to drive that interest in the traffic and everything like that, it's there, it's showing value, it's showing the recognition, and it's all about trying to keep people interested in what we're trying to achieve. Obviously, we know it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a process to go through, and we're going to have to keep working on it. But I feel like there is such a massive gap in the market that we want to fill that gap, so we have to just keep going at it, create it, and then once it's there to be used and utilised, I think it'll almost work itself.
Absolutely.
And it's just you two and
Sam,
and Sam.
Yeah, that's it.
I share your not hell, but I share your vision because it is just. Yeah, I appreciate how hard it is.
Absolutely.
When you got one person trying to drive one message home, but
definitely.
Power of social media.
Yeah, definitely.
It should definitely work.
I mean, speaking to all the people that we work with, we've had so much good interest. Guys asking about it all the time. How are you getting on? Stuff like that. Them reaching out to other like family and friends, other like small medium business owners that they know, pushing it to them. And then them getting in contact with us saying, oh, we've heard about this, sounds really good. So we're so close to that business directory going live. And as soon as that goes, the onboarding will be there, and the proof will be people onboarding. It becomes that product that we can then market, put it out there, and there's value to be had by people. So yeah, we're that close to putting it.
I've got high hopes.
Lives,
I mean,
so yeah.
You got me engaged, and I'm not even a tradie.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's
I am at heart.
Yeah.
I like the trades because, like you said, no one gets looked after.
Yes.
And like not an ideal client for me. That sounds like I'm really picky, but like the ideal client is those people that haven't got time to think about it.
Definitely.
For sure.
You just want to give them the one.
Yeah.
Give them everything they need, and it's down to them what they decide what to do.
Definitely.
But you get
100%
forgotten about.
Big
I
time.
think that is the big problem. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, thank you for coming all the way down from
No worries
Northampton.
at all,
I know how far it is. It's like 2.5 hours or 2 and a
It
bit
was-
hours.
we had a
It
good
was a
run.
nice drive
We had a
this
good
morning,
run.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
it was
know.
all right.
I went, like I said, I went to Milton Keynes the other day and to pick up some vintage plates.
Beautiful.
I know. And I went around the M25 first, which was ridiculous. I know.
Yeah, that's not.
Didn't need
yeah.
to come that way.
No, I wouldn't have gone
So
that way.
safe trip back. But yeah, guys out there, follow GrafterCard. It's on Instagram. You're on LinkedIn now, aren't you?
LinkedIn, TikTok,
TikTok, Facebook.
Yeah.
Look out for all the content that's coming your way.
Yeah.
And don't forget to sign up. If you're any sort of trade, even if you're working in an office about trades, I will
Definitely.
pass it on to Mike, actually, the cleaner.
Perfect. Yeah.
You know, they are proper grafters. But
Beautiful,
yeah,
absolutely.
thanks for coming all the way down, and like and subscribe to the podcast. And yeah, go for that. So
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
yeah, just
Cheers.
wave to the camera. I'll wave.
Sign up.
Perfect.
Cheers.